Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Q1 FY25 earnings conference call of Akzo Nobel Limited, hosted by ICICI Securities. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Aniruddha Joshi, ICICI Securities. Thank you and over to you.
Thanks, Yashasri. On behalf of ICICI Securities, we welcome you all to Q1 FY25 results webinar of Akzo Nobel India. We have with us today senior management represented by Mr. Rajiv Rajgopal, Chairman and Managing Director, Mr. Krishna R, CFO and Whole-Time Director, and Mr. Rajiv Jha, Company Secretary and Compliance Officer. Now I hand over the call to Mr. Rajiv Rajgopal for his initial comments on the quarterly performance, and then we will open the floor for question and answer session. Thanks, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Anirudh. Thank you very much, and thank you for hosting the call. First and foremost, good afternoon to all our investors and all the people on the call. Wonderful to again speak to all of you. For those of you who were there on our AGM, some of it will be repetitive. For others, I'll quickly run through. Look, as far as the quarter has gone by, we've had I would call a reasonable quarter. We've had a double-digit volume growth. We've had a high single-digit in paints and a double-digit in the coatings business. Our coatings businesses verticals have really dialed up well last quarter, and we've had very strong double-digit growths in many of them. Paints, of course, continue to be a bit muted, as you've seen it with some of our larger peers who've already reported. From our perspective, we continue to be focused, and obviously we are executing our strategy relentlessly, and that's what really we are looking at, a bit like horse with blinkers. As far as decorative is concerned, we had a bit of a tough month in April, but we sort of bounced back in the last 2 months, more pronounced in June, and that's seen a bit of an that's how we sort of managed to sort of touch the bar in making sure that we have a at par sort of a performance. In coatings, the value growth is in line with what we expected, but what we've really seen as a trend is, look, I think value is lagging volume, and that we will see it till almost end of the year. I believe that, look, the volume value catch up will start getting seen in early next year. As we've seen an increase in the raw material prices, which we had already picked up, and hence we've taken some pricing actions of close to about 1.5% between July and mid-August, which we've already announced to the market, right? So our endeavors, we are already at price premiums. We want to make sure that we are competitive, and we are also driving significant, as you've seen from a 160 bips increase in the gross margin, which Krishna will explain. We are focusing on making sure we are leveraging all our functions and working as a team, and really gearing to make sure that we continue to be not just a relevant player, but a meaningful relevant player as we move ahead. Right, Krishna, if you can just give color on the financials, and then we can get straight into the Q&A.
Thanks, Rajiv. If I do sum up the quarter gone by, it was a tough quarter as far as the industry per se is concerned, which we were also part of, and we witnessed several headwinds like heat wave, labor shortages, and then the muted demand conditions. Despite of all these challenges, we achieved a double-digit volume growth, and the revenue grew at around 4%, which was constrained by the earlier price cuts which we took, which are roughly around 4%. Growth during this quarter largely come from strong performance of the B2B businesses. We have also witnessed the stiffening of the raw materials somewhere in the mid of May and onwards. And despite of that, we could able to improve our gross margins by around 160 basis points through improvement in the product mix, and the sourcing efficiencies. Growth remained a priority, and we continue to invest in our brands, people, and the distribution, while also sustaining the profitability. The profit EBIT percentage was around 14% plus, which is almost at the last year level. PAT at 114.6 in the quarter, which is grew by around 4%. It's worth noting that this was the highest ever absolute performance across the revenue, gross margin, EBIT, and the PAT. Thanks, Ravi. Back to you.
Yeah, so thank you. I think, look, from our businesses, I think what has been our focus is really focusing on our existing customers. Because we've just taken decided to take a bit of a back step, saying that look, hunting, we'll just sort of go in a more careful, measured manner, and really focus on an increasing share of wallet of our existing customers. And that's really what we really started doing as a team. We started this exercise actually towards the end of last year, but we've now starting to see that the results are paying dividends, where we are saying how can we have solutions which are there. We're also looking at sources of growth, for example in EV, etc., where our coatings businesses have already got world-class solutions. Yeah, as all of you know, we are the only paint manufacturer in perhaps the world which has also participated in creating a solution for not just the Earth, but also outside the Earth. So we've obviously coated rover, which went to Mars, as all of you know, with both powder coating and liquid. So I think for us now, we are looking at saying how can we bring some of those meaningful products into our ambit and really create a space that I think we'll be able to sort of carve a niche for ourselves and really get a head strength over our competitors. Right? So I think that's where the focus is. I think this is about using the high-end technology and doing it. There is a small team working with me directly on this and really saying how can we really dial up some of the propositions we have in our decorative paints. We've just launched Dulux VT Eterna. And for all the investors on the call, I strongly suggest if any of you are getting into a painting cycle to at least try one room with it. You would see, and I can promise you, you will not come back to me with any complaints because I've just used it in my home for at least all the premium products. I personally ensure usage and signing off with the management team members, me, Krishna, Rajiv, head of HR, Niliman, some of our senior members in the team, but to make sure that we ourselves are signing off these products before it goes to the market. So look, I think some of the innovation pipeline, the 8-quarter pipeline or 12-quarter pipeline that we have, it's coming into fruition. As I mentioned last year during the call before Diwali, that between last Diwali to next Diwali, we will see a flurry of products. Even on sustainability, we've got products like A600, really some of world-class products, that sort of addresses. We've also launched Interpon A3000, which is one of the first single layer powder coating for two-wheelers. Yeah, so we are dialing up certain products. Yeah, we are, I think we are trying to create a phenomenal position for ourselves in our coatings vertical, and also making sure that our paints vertical works side by side. We also are trying to leverage some of our coatings position for our decorative business and trying to see how we can be very relevant from a customer perspective. Yeah, so that's really what I have to say, Anirudh. Our presentation is, I'm not running through a canned presentation because it's already there on the website so that we keep more questions, answers. I just want to be honest. We will, given the competitive intensity in the market and the curiosity, please pardon us. We will only be able to share something which we genuinely believe which we can share. And I would not be in a position to share something which is competitive or a strategic advantage for us because, you will appreciate that this performance has also come because we've been able to keep secret sauce, and that secret sauce is only with a few people in this organization, right? So that's something that you have to be mindful of when you ask questions. Thank you. Back to you, Anirudh, and back to, for the Q&A session.
Thank you very much, sir. We will now begin the question and answer session. To ask an interactive question, please click on the raise hand icon available on the toolbar, or you may click on Q&A icon to raise hand. The operator will announce your name when it is your turn to ask a question. You may also post your text questions. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from Jayvansh Mehta from Care PMS. Please go ahead.
Good morning, good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for the opportunity and congratulations on a good set of numbers. Sir, my first question was basically on can you share the number of tinting machines that we have currently? And also in the same lines, if you share the retailers, amount of retailers that we have and our target retailers that we have for FY25?
No, I think that those numbers have already been shared, but I'm happy to reshare it to you. We are looking at now the crossing on tinting machines, getting to almost about 16,500 plus outlets to 17,000 outlets. Look, our yardstick on tinting machine, and this question is going to be a different one because we've got internally very stringent measures, yeah, in terms of what is a productive tinting machine. Yeah, so the first point is what we've embarked on is to look at which are the non-productive tinting machines we have and either redeploy them or put a program to sweat them. So that's the first. Second, in terms of distribution, look, as I mentioned earlier, we are looking at hitting the 25,000 as early as we can before next year. Currently, we are hovering at about 23,500 outlets, but our endeavor and I think Rohit and the team are absolutely focused on ensuring that we start doing it. Our focus is really now as I mentioned in the call, is really how can we be more meaningful in the outlets we are, right? Given the competitive intensity. So really, for me, the first preference is how can I start increasing our presence or make sure that we don't have too much of dealer attrition during this headwind and become a more relevant player. That's really the objective, what we are trying to do. Hope I've answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Understood, sir. So my second question was, sir, can you share the B2B versus B2C volume growth for this quarter?
So look, I think the B2C has been approximately about, yeah, as I said, high single digit. Yeah, you can put a number there, almost 9%, is nothing to hide. And B2B has been blended, B2B has been at about 12%, right? So that's the reason we've reported a good early double digit growth.
Yes, sir. So last question, sir. Sir, if we see compare this quarter versus
And
last quarter, our
sorry, just one more point. When you say B2B, the paints B2B is also included in the B2B, not in the B2C. So just wanted to confirm. Go ahead. Yeah, last
okay,
question
sir.
because I guess otherwise, please allow the next person to come in. Otherwise, yeah.
Okay, okay, so I'll come back in the case. So, sir, this year quarter, if you see the EBITDA gross margins has grown, but the EBITDA margins has slightly has not grown because of the increased brand spend. So, can you share the brand spends for last quarter versus this quarter?
No, we will not be able to share because that's a little competitive for a simple reason that it also includes signing of the celebrity. We have signed up with rocking star Yash, and one of the parts of the deal is that we do not share his endorsement fee, right? So I'm not in a position to be able to share that with you because that's a privileged information. But you can imagine that how much rocking star Yash, who is one of India's biggest celebrities, would cost. So you can quickly sort of do a thumb rule on it.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you.
That's it from my side. Thank you so much and all the best, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question is from Aniruddha Joshi from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Yes, Anil.
Uh, yes, sir. Two questions from my side. So we have seen market share gains happening for almost more than 1.5, almost 2 years in a row now. So yes, we can understand definitely distribution, differentiated launches, and in a way aggression in the trade. All these things, more investments in brand building spends. All of these things are working for us. So what are the additional things that we are trying to do to increase the tempo of market share gains? And in a way, what are the market shares in industrial paints? I understand it is B2B, but if any ballpark figure that if you can share, where are we in different sub-segments in terms of market shares, and what are the strategies to focus on gaining market share in that part of the business as well?
Yeah. So look, on the decorative side, as I said, we've got a slew of programs. So it'll be very difficult to embark on one. But really, if you really go in, and some of these are obviously, as I said, Anirudh, I will not be able to share with you because that's a bit privileged. That's some of the parts of the secret sauce that we have. But what we've done is we put for a large dealer specific programs to make sure that it's very attractive for people to be with us during this current headwinds, right? And our focus, like you rightly said, has been dialing up Dulux Assurance because that what we say is, look, we are the best in class quality. Any customer who can either through our website or through WhatsApp can reach us while buying our product to ensure that if there is any complaint, yeah, on stated coverage, the color, yeah, our consistency of application, you can sort of write back. And customers, what people have done is, while our claims have been very muted, the fact is customers have really appreciated that the brand is really dialing in and sort of taking this head on, right? So these are some of the things that we've done. Otherwise, very frankly, there are a few more things that we are doing in dialing up on two, three categories, like particularly on the waterproofing and construction chemicals. We will be entering the construction chemicals part of the business towards the later part of the year, towards the end of the year, early next year. If if everything falls well, right? So we are dialing up into certain segments that we've not. The reason we are taking time into this is, look, when you get into some of these segments, you must have an offering either which is differentiated, or you must be the best in class quality to be able to charge the premium. Yeah, because we are not going to enter any category where we cannot charge a premium. So that's a very clear no from my end, right? So how do we really enter into fast growing sectors that we are there? On the industrial segments, Anirudh, I will not be able to share market shares. We have market shares at a level because these are not regularly tracked. But suffice to say that in many of our businesses, we've got high single digit to double digit market shares. And what are we doing there? As I said, we are bringing in propositions which are very relevant to customers. So if you look at sustainability, so the products that we've got are all sustain. As it is, powder is very sustainable, but even within that, we are dialing up products which are very sustainable. Even on the architectural side, metallic bonding has got very high acceptability. We are the only player here offering, while some of our competitors do it outside India. But by being one of the first to launch it, and the quality of products, people know the sort of buildings that we've done use metallic bonding, whether it's, even if you take sites that I've covered in my earlier roles, like Burj Khalifa, Burj Al Arab, or the Dubai Eye. People know what our products are, right? So I think that's where we are getting a higher acceptability. On the coding side, look, I think our strength of our products is now giving us confidence that we can enter into sectors that we never were playing in, right? So we are entering into certain strategic sectors that globally we've got strong positions, but in India we've not. And as I said, Anirudh, picture abhi baki hai mere dost. I mean, let's understand, all our planes, etc., quoted in Singapore or Dubai, and those are all done by Akzo Nobel. Huh? So as the MROs come in Delhi or Mumbai 1 year from now, we will be, we've got a 75% market share globally on that. So I'm excited. I'm super excited because I think the products that Akzo Nobel will now start bringing into India are world class, right? So even on the decorative side, I'm quite excited. Given the sort of headwinds, I think we are trying to hold our own, and we are trying to make sure that we also dial into categories that we've not been very active, particularly in the mass economy segments, etc. But what we want to do when we launch is we want to make sure that some of those products are doing well. And I must say, this is an industry which is tough. It's not easy because all the established players have strong propositions. They've got good people, etc. So let's understand it's going to be a heated market for a while. We understand that, and our strategies that we are working on already includes that. Yeah, Anirudh.
Okay. Sure, sir. That's very helpful.
Yeah, I mean,
Second question
I've
from
given
my
you a
side.
trailer.
Rajiv sir, we cannot hear you. Rajiv sir,
Rajiv sir,
we are
you
unable
are
to hear you, sir.
on mute. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I think that gives you an idea of what we are really focusing on. We are working on a lot of global innovations right now. Of how do you really make paint far more meaningful? How can the application be there in a very sustainable manner? Dialing in on sustainability, dialing in on a cutting edge innovation. So let's wait for some of it. Some of these things are, as they call it, still in the lab in stages of testing. In Akzo Nobel, we are very clear. We don't launch products in a hurry. We take time. Some of the products you're seeing now actually we started work in 2023, 2022 and 23. They go through a rigorous lab testing. So we are not the sort of people who will announce that we'll launch today and launch tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. We need to make sure,
Right.
because we stand for the highest standards of governance, right? So when we say sustainable, we have to get all the approvals that we globally do, which is not easy. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, sir. Just one more question from my side. From the gross margin expansion, it definitely seems that the premium part of the portfolio has done definitely well. And we have also introduced a new paint in over luxury space. So if you can indicate the where the launch has happened and how big is the size of the market, how fast it is growing, and again, means about more about that product also. Yeah, that's it from my side. Thank you.
Sir, you're on mute.
I think. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
So, so I don't think there is a, we it's we just 2 months into launch, but I just wanted to give you a glimpse on, in the AGM, etc., of the fact that we put this, and you would see some more products coming in, yeah, in the next couple of months across other categories. We believe that our innovation contribution to the overall portfolio, which used to hover around 3 to 4% over the last couple of years, has moved to about 6, 7, and we are moving towards a double-digit contribution from our new product innovations as we move forward. Anirudh, if that gives you a sense of what I'm talking scale.
Yeah, sure, sir. That's helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, would like to remind participants to ask a question. Please click on the raise hand icon tab available on the toolbar. Next question is from Avi Mehta from Macquarie. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi sir. Sorry. Hi sir. Thanks for the
Hi, Avi.
opportunity. Sir, I just wanted to kind of double click on what is happening on the ground in the decorative. We now know a new entrant is on the ground. So wanted to get your initial impressions or thoughts on, versus what we were when there was there was clear uncertainty in what they will do. And now we have some clarity. Would love to hear your thoughts on how exactly are things on the ground. How are you seeing this? Any update over here? Because you could appreciate we have limited. We'd love to kind of gain that understanding from you, please, if you can.
Look, Avi, each of you are going to be making choices, and the choice.
Sorry, sir. I can't hear you. Sorry. I think you've gone on mute. Sorry. No, sir. You're not audible.
Rajiv sir, you're on
Avi,
mute. Yes.
yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm not on mute.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
We can hear
I
you
think
now,
some.
sir.
Okay. So look, all I'm saying is, look, the way each of you as individuals and as companies make choices is going to define. All I want to start with a preface before I get into the specific answer is, look, I joined this company as the managing director in 2018. I made promises to investors. Many of the people whom I made perhaps are on the call and some not, right? I can only tell you that I think my performance and the team's performance and Akzo Nobel speaks louder than words. Yeah, I was brought in when my predecessor had resigned, the CFO and CEO of the MD of the company in 2018, and thereafter the journey has started. Yeah, so first I would say that please verify the the track record of what I've said versus what I've done as a team and not as an individual. And I think that's the first thing. Second, let's understand we are not talking of any normal competitor. You're talking about a established business house, and I normally give every competitor complete respect. Yeah, so I think first thing I want to preface, because I think they're all run by very fine individuals. So let's assume there are people who are as smart as us and maybe even smarter. So let's keep that in isolation, right? Too early, Avi, to pronounce any verdict. Yeah, our results are what they are. You're seeing. I think it's for people like you to tell me, who are evaluating us on a day-to-day basis by deciding whether to buy or not to buy, the results. Yeah? All I can say is, look, I think the real intensity of the battle will be seen in the last quarter of the fiscal or first quarter of the next fiscal. That's when the steady state will come, right? And the winners will get separated. I would believe that it takes brand distribution to really succeed in the market. And can you build it? I think it'll be a case study if somebody can show us how it is, because it'll also be a lesson for me to say how maybe what we could have done a little faster and earlier, right? But this is not, in my view, having worked in different sectors like telecom, not a capacity game. This is a game of consumers and customers. So it takes time, right? And pricing is important, but not the most important tool. And I think, will the stack of the market shares change? I mean, let's wait for the final results. I think it's too early to call it a day, and too early to give you any feedback based on to couple of months. I think it would be very naive on my part to make any comment.
No, fair enough, sir. Okay, if I can try, but sir, I understand your point about judging. Maybe I'll rephrase it. It was not a judgment. You clearly have done very well, and I mean, kudos to you and the team for that. But I just wanted to kind of better understand that as things crystallize, you have a better handle.
Yeah.
You may not have a complete handle, and that I completely agree with you. But it was just trying to get those initial sense on how
No, I
we are
agree.
seeing on the ground.
No, Abhi, look, I think each of the companies are focused on their strategies. Okay. Again, I don't judge a book by its cover. One quarter doesn't define any individual or a company. My view is one has to look at it over a few quarters and to see what it is. Will market shares dramatically change? I think let's also flash back to a couple of players who come into the industry, see the time they've taken, and some one or two good brands have got created of the new players have come in. Right now, when the new players have come in, and I'm not talking of the latest entrant, but of entrants who've come over the last many years. What has been the performance? The CAGR of the industry has still been double digit, and of all the established players, right? So I think we've got to look at the sources of growth. Sources of growth. It's still a large market. When you talk about a market which is 60,000 crore, and the turnover of all the top 4 5 players don't add up to that. I think that gives you the answers. So I think there is a large market. Perhaps what will happen initially is that the incremental growth will start getting a little muted, which is what started seeing perhaps, right? But what will then thereafter happen is the stronger brands and brands which have got better distribution, etc., and are working on a particular strategy and sticking to it will come out as winners. Yeah. So
No.
again, I won't be, Abhi, too early for me to comment on specifically what Grasim is doing, right? They've come with a campaign. It's been a very high decibel campaign. We've noted, right? We knew that it's going to happen. We came with our campaign with, and that's the reason for me, after many years, to take a celebrity like rocking star Yash, has obviously really cost the wallet, as you've seen in the OPEX inflation. Our OPEX has been driven by driving top line. Yeah, so that's really the focus. Krishna, you want to add something?
No, I think
Yeah.
No, perfect, sir. That's thank. And sir, just following up on the last question which Anirudh asked about the competitive intensity in the industrial side. Is it more steady?
Yeah.
Is it rising? Are we seeing new entrants or anything of that sort?
No, I think within the established players, it's getting a little more heated because obviously when the decorative side is seeing a relatively lower growth, you're seeing some intensity come on to this side. But look, I think we are fairly, I wouldn't use the word insulated, but we are fairly clear that our products are world class and our customers understand that. All our customers who've got a footprint, or not just in India but outside India, like Middle East, different parts of the world, understand what Akzo Nobel is, and hence we get as a preferred vendor or supplier to them. So as a result, it's a relationship which we have globally, regionally, and we are leveraging that. I mean, I run Middle East also along with South Asia now and India. So, I can tell you that we've got phenomenal positions there where some of those businesses are now, I'm pushing teams to make sure that we are leveraging a common customer, say, the largest construction business houses, etc. So we will get very aggressive. We are focusing on our customer. We are focusing on what we have. And that's the plan. Thank you, Avi.
Got it, sir. Thank you, sir. So just one
Lovely seeing
bookkeeping,
you.
if I may. Same here, sir. So
Yeah,
just
sure.
one bookkeeping. Would you be able to give us some sense on what is the premium product salience where, we obviously building brands and brands become a lot more important. Would you be able to give us a rough sense how much would that
You're
be?
still talking on the decorative side?
Yes, sir, for
Yeah,
us.
so look, I think that I've mentioned many times. So our salience is anywhere between 45 to about 50%, depending on the quarter that we play in. So it's a very high salience that we have there.
No, sir. In decorative, the premium products, which is essentially where brands obviously will matter. The consumer is a lot more brand conscious, I would assume so. That
Yes,
was what I was trying to.
Krishna. Yeah, so that's precisely what I told. I know it's a bit of a surprise for you, but our salience is very high in the premium part of the portfolio. Our challenge, Avi, is that we are very underrepresented in the mass and economy segments. We have less than
No,
1%
perfectly.
share in, so that's the issue.
No, perfectly, sir. Thanks a lot for answering my questions and wish you luck, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we take the next question, we'd like to remind participants to please click on the raise hand icon available on the toolbar. You may also post your text questions. We'll take our next question from Latika Chopra from JP Morgan. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Yes, Latika.
Hi. So two questions. The first one was, at a broader industry level, it will be useful if you could share some nuances for decorative paints, from a geographical standpoint, we're kind of getting these inputs that southern part of the country is a little more slower than the rest. Just wanted to check with you, are you sensing any kind of variations in the growth trajectory, across, the key regions in the country? If anything very stark to call out?
Latika, I think all of you actually get these details far better than me, but and you know exactly how we've done. But I think suffice to say, what you've said is absolutely bang on. I think the southern states these things differ quarter to quarter, so it's very difficult for me to give a trend in a particular geography or region, etc. But suffice to say that yes, the south states in the last quarter had a higher headwind compared to some of the others. We, as I've always mentioned in the investor call right from the beginning, are usually represented in the western part and the eastern part of the country where we've had lesser headwinds. Though I must say that's also to do with the baseline, because last year this time, we were having some terrific headwinds in the eastern part of the country until almost the previous quarter, not the quarter that just went by, the previous quarter, right? So I think there's a combination of the two, right? We believe that, look, I think there are some, the west and the parts of north are sort of really bouncing back faster. I expect south to start coming back. I mean, we've had some challenges for us. States like Karnataka, where we were growing hugely double digit, came under a bit of challenge, but we are slowly pulling back.
And that's useful and good to know. The second question was on price increases. You pointed out 1.5% price hike in Q2. Just trying to
Yeah.
understand it, from the cost inflation trends that you see right now, and basis what the inventory, days that you work with on raw material front. Do you anticipate the need for more price increases, in the coming months?
So look, first and foremost, if you look at our working capital on the decorative side, we are one of the few companies which have got almost negative working to zero to negative working capital, which is very unique in this industry. It's taken us years to blend it. Most started towards 2018-19 journey, and something that we're really proud of. So really, to me, that's not the concern. To answer your question, look, we've seen some headwinds come in terms of some of the raw materials. We don't compromise on our quality products, and as a result, we are ending up sometimes paying a bit of premium. And so we just want to make sure that while being competitive in the market, we are also, managing our P&L very carefully. So our 1.5% is a reflection, a very careful, judgmental reflection of what we need to ensure that we cover for the year. And we will see. At this point of time, the situation is a bit volatile. Krishna, you want to say anything more?
No,
Please add.
I think it's fairly represented. It's evolving over a period of time. I think we need to see where does it stop.
And Latika, what we are doing is, I think between Krishna and me, working with our procurement team and seeing what are the sourcing efficiencies, some of which you've seen in the last quarter. Some of these are one-offs, but some of these we do plan to put measured ways of trying to ensure that we derive value creation without, touching the quality of the product.
Great. Thank you so much for very clear answers. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Latika.
The next question is from Nirav Savai from Abacus. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for the opportunity. My question is primarily on the project business side. So, how has the project business performed this quarter, and what would be its contribution on the overall decorative piece?
So, Nirav, I think I mentioned it in the earlier investor calls. Just nice to speak to you. It's 20% is a contribution of the projects business, and we've grown. We just touched double digit at the end of June in the projects business. So it is a double digit growth, and
Okay.
that's what it is. I think my camera has been turned off by the moderator, so I think.
Can you turn it on once more, sir? Because it was frozen.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Is it okay now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
it's audible. And secondly, you in your initial remarks said the B2B portion has grown by 12%, which also includes the decorative paint. So I understand it's a project part of it. So what would be the growth purely on the industrial side on the B2B?
I don't look. We don't give the verticals because that's what I was trying to tell. I don't. Then we'll start getting into sub segments. We don't do that. We broadly tell you, but I gave you a broad headline of how some of the businesses have done when I told you that you've got approximately a volume growth of 12%. I think if you quickly calculate, we've had less price declines there. That'll give you a quick indication of how we've done. Yeah.
Right, right. Got it, got it. And also, it would be helpful if you can just elaborate more on, the launch of mass and economy products where our market share is lower, and what will we doing on the strategy side. It's a highly competitive industry, and the forte has been largely on the premium and the luxury side. So, what's our strategy for next 2 to 3 years to scale up that segment?
So we are looking at products. We are looking at working at what could be the innovations that are there. We've already got a brand called Promise, and then we launched 2020. We launched the Promise Smart Choice, which we entered into the lower the mass market sort of variant. We are currently working on something which hopefully by early next year we will be able to, if not late this year, we'll be able to bring to market. Suffice to say, I think what we are looking at is from our current, 2-3% market share, can we get equal to our overall market share, which is in between 5 and 6% now. So really, that's the first attempt. And so first, I think we need a proper product with the sort of global quality standards that we have, and we are working on that right now. So it would be too precocious for me to right now talk about it, but that's really the focus. Yeah, and how can we really dial up and gain share from some of the competitors as we do that?
Right. Got it. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, please click on the raise hand icon tab available on the toolbar, or you may click on Q&A icon to raise hand. You may also post your text questions. We'll take some text questions. The question is from Lohit Seni from Jairam Stockbrokers. Can you share the advertising spend as a percentage of revenue during the quarter?
Krishna, would you be able to do that?
So it should be roughly around 5%.
Yeah, you got
Thank
that.
you.
So approximately 5%. Yeah.
The second text question is from Nilesh Patil from ICICI Securities. Could you just insight on the company's strategy over super premium segment business? What is the pricing, peers, and indicative contribution to decorative revenues?
So look, if I start dissecting it, the secret sauce will be out. So I'm not going to dissect it. Apologies for that, but I have to draw a line somewhere. On the strategy, look, I think super premium, we believe there are three reasons why we will win. We believe that we've got global formulations and some world-class products that are being sold in many other markets, China, Latin America, etc., that we are looking into, where we believe there are unique propositions that we can dial in. We already workers on. I think it's about seeing the relevance to the India market before we bring it in. So, Dulux VT Eterna is one such example. This equivalent of this brand sells very much in the UK, and we've sort of taken that learning and brought it here. As we start dialing it up, you would start seeing that we are bringing some offerings which are very close to it.
Thank you.
Yeah, we are also going to
Ladies,
do similar stuff in our exterior portfolio and wood portfolio. Yeah.
thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, to
Thank
ask
you.
a question, please click on the raise hand icon tab available on your toolbar. We'll take a question from Aniruddha Joshi from ICICI Securities. Please go ahead.
Yeah, sir. Thanks for the opportunity again. Two questions from my side. One, we have also seen from the parent that there is going to be full throttle effort on the two-wheeler paints. So, and India is going to be a major market as per the parent also. So, just some clarifications. What are the strategies that we are having to gain market share in the two-wheeler paints? What is our current status and how do we see the opportunity? Also, whether the two-wheelers includes electric vehicles too, and how should we read more on this? Because that's a very strong Interpone is a very strong global. So
Yeah.
definitely we have a right to win. But what are the strategies to execute the plan?
So I think Anirudh, you by asking me the question answered some of it. So first and foremost, yes, globally we are one of the very few vendors which have got sustainable solutions for the EV market, and it's now formal. As the EV players are coming in, they are dialing into us. We've got very strong relations with the two-wheeler players in the market, and we already supply the two large players in terms of liquid paint, and also more than liquid, also the powder paint. Yeah, to answer your question. Yeah, so I think what we are doing is, as I mentioned in powder, A3000 is a first single layer powder coating for two-wheelers. We've launched a lot of products for the EV space specifically. Yeah, and we will continue to work on certain solutions to look at in terms of durability, lightness, etc. On that, these are all being done both at a global level and at India level. We also know that the India market, when I say market, I mean the conditions in the are different from some of the global markets. So we need to make sure that some of the paints, both liquid and powder, are going to be applicable here. So a lot of rigorous testing is happening in the labs, and the teams are working on it, and they're doing a brilliant job. Yeah. So we will be a very meaningful player in the two-wheeler, to answer your question.
Okay, sure. So that's very encouraging. And second and last question from my side is, now we have seen the Promise brand also is now offering 10% extra grammage. So whether it's a pan-India
Yeah.
launch, and how has been the response so far, and how do you see communicating that with the painters, the trade dealers, as well as the eventual consumers also? So how do we see the in a way overall opportunity panning out in this, and whether consumer offers or in a way such kind of offers have really worked in pen industry? If you can share from your global experience also, because it's more of a influencer suggested product which is purchased maybe once in 5 years or once in 6 years. So how should we read about these aspects of the business?
Yeah, so two things. Have we done it outside India? We've done it both in India and outside India many, many years ago. I think the first thing in Promise was to establish a proposition, and the proposition is about better coverage, and then say we're giving you 10% more. So it's not just giving you better coverage, it's giving you twice as much. So that's the core, right? Now, the difference is, unlike many players who give a 1 plus 20, we have given a 10% extra within. We are the only player which has done that. Is it a pan India launch? We are currently operating in many markets, some of our markets, and we'll see how the response is. The response has been quite reasonable so far. If it continues to be good, then we will sort of move towards it completely. But too early for me again to give you, because 1-2 months, some of it is channel pipeline filling and all, Anirudh. But that is going to be, so we have to wait and watch how much of channel pipeline filling was the real offtake, and then we will do it. It's also true for some of the new launches that we've done. We are being very careful in terms of what is channel pipeline filling versus offtake, to really look at what really pulls the muscle through. But we've got a few things up our sleeve. I think towards the end of the year or during, and again, as I always tell you, you will see a couple of launches before Diwali, and from this Diwali to next Diwali again, you will see some more stuff coming in, which we've got a calibrated program which will hopefully keep us in good stead.
Okay, sure, sir.
Anirudh?
Sure, sir. Sure. Understand. That's very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll take that as the last question for today. I would now like to hand the conference over to management for closing comments. Over to you, sir.
So first and foremost, to everybody on the call, really appreciate, thank you. I have to personally thank many of you for the huge support, because it's very easy to feel very elated after a quarter, but sometimes we have to also have our head on our shoulders and remember that we've been through difficult times, particularly during COVID, and the early 2018 when I came in, when things were tough. Many of you stood by us. I think so. Really, I think you should feel proud. I think the performance is due to your support, your encouragement, and you pushing us, saying you've got faith in us, and that's a testimony to you too, of continuing to support us and engage with us. Thank you so much for being there for us, and look forward. As far as Akzo Nobel is concerned, look, we are going to play in this market. We are here to win. We are not here to lose. Right now, I'm not an astrologer, etc., to predict the future, but all I can say is, as far as Akzo Nobel is concerned, we will be a very meaningful player. We build fantastic positions in both our coatings businesses and also in our paints business. We've got a reasonable, very strong proposition. We believe that we've got with the R&D a very strong pipeline, And it's the confidence in our quality of our products that gives us the confidence to say that, yeah, we will be able to deliver strong performances. But again, it is an aggressive market. It is a tough competition out there, and we really, like a horse with blinkers, stay focused on what we do. So I would like to thank each one of you for your incredible support. And in case any of you have further questions, we do contact Mr. Rajiv Lochan Jha, company secretary, who will then engage. Yeah, hopefully sometime this quarter. I'm also looking forward to seeing some of you personally. Again, something that Rajiv Lochan Jha and Krishna will reach out at an appropriate time. So thank you all. Wish all of you a great day and look forward to being connected. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. On behalf of ICICI Securities, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.